So another view here of the terraces, and as you see, this is loose volcanic stone that's put on top of another loose volcanic stone. So it's a pileup of volcanic blocks, boulders and stones in a rough fashion, and then there's a fill in between them. So it's effectively walls that kind of define an area, and then the internal material was filled up, and this is how the construction was made, making many terraces, which actually is more of an agricultural thing, isn't it? So that's my gut feeling here. And here is one of these dig sites, and this is where the Guanche remains come from. So here it says something here. The cave here is 8 meters long, and it yielded important Guanche artifacts that showed that this was used as a dwelling place. And it's dated between 680 and 1020 AD, and it is thought that the Guanches inhabited the island since at least the 5th century. So this is a site where ancient people lived. So, and here we are. So the Guanche cave, and this is actually at the corner here of the pyramid. So the pyramid is clearly built on top, and this is a little lava cave. Actually, it's a lava tunnel, quite typical. It's not too big, it's not too high either. So this was a bit of a crust of a lava flow that was inflated a little. We have seen this plenty of times, and in some of my earlier videos you see things like that as well. So this is a natural cave that the Guanches exploited, and they have built the pyramid here. And there's a larger boulder, a larger block that was integrated into the wall here. So this must have been resting here. This was likely not moved to this place. So this is very interesting. And these larger blocks that were resting here were seemingly part of the construction. And that's quite intriguing, actually. Not quite sure what to read into that yet, but here's the side of the pyramid, and the structure is rather long here, so I'll come around a little bit. So I can walk a little closer maybe, and we can have a somewhat closer look at the wall here as well. So here we have the rough volcanic stones that are put on each other, and they kind of, you know, they form a pressurized situation where they push into each other, and if you construct them well, this is actually stable from its own weight. So there's a very elegant way of making walls here in the Canaries to this day, and well, very hard to say if the Guanches mastered this, but this certainly would be something that the population from 200 years ago could have done. They would have known about this technology, and this is not entirely the same style as pyramids, for example, in Egypt. They are a lot more polished, and they're a lot more sophisticated. This is a bit rough, and from that point of view, I'm also a little skeptical about the origin of them. So over here, some of the walls seem to be made of rounded boulders, river boulders, and there seems to have been a little bit of a ravine, an old river here. The ground is a little lower here, so here we're going down into a little depression. So this was likely a river that would have had seasonal water, flash floods effectively, when the weather was right. So in winter times, there you may have heavy rainfall here in the mountains, and then you would get a flash flood, and that would bring some of these boulders down, and if they tumble down in this ravine, then with time at least they would get nicely polished, and that has been used here as well, it looks like. But for the main part of the pyramid, it's mainly rough volcanic stone rather than tumbled and rounded volcanic stone, so that's a somewhat different beast over there. So intriguing, intriguing. And here in the background, we see the GUIMAR wall of the GUIMAR collapse. So this is one of the old giant collapses. This particular one is about 800,000 years old. So it's not quite a million years old, but it's a long, long time ago. So thank you very much. And I hope you found this interesting, and I'll see what else we find here, and I'll report back if I have the chance. Thanks a mil, all the best.